welcome all of you. I would now like to request Dr. Ishar Ahluwalia to chair this session. Please come.
Thank you, Nisha. Very good afternoon. Dr. Ishrat Hussain, Mr. Sunil Munjal, Ambassador, High Commissioner, Mr. Salman Bashir, Dr. Surjit Bhalla, Dr. Rajat Kathuria, and many distinguished guests that have assembled here. I have the honor to welcome you on behalf of ICRIER at this very special lecture in our distinguished lecture series in a program that ICRIER launched a few months ago. It's a durable program for 3 years in which our main objective is to bring the research that ICRIER has been doing on South Asian economic cooperation and economic integration, on India-Pakistan trade and investment and other issues over the past 20 years, bring it to the next stage where it is not just research and policy implications that we spell out and leave it there, but take it a step forward by disseminating the knowledge that we have assembled, pulling together the think tanks all over the country in India and also think tanks from Pakistan to come together, bring the private sectors together, involve civil society and all stakeholders in pushing our countries towards realizing their potential of both raising the levels of living in our countries, bringing peace to the region, and developing stakeholdership in which, we rise above the short term and look at our past, our glorious past together, which has sometimes been dented, but how to get back to a South Asia which can really be an example in the world of facing the challenges that only we as a subcontinent have had to face, of poverty, of gender poverty, of diversity and challenges that come with it. It is in that spirit that when we started this program, we knew that this was a tough job, but we felt the time had come that we really have to put all our heads together to see how we can really deliver this region from all these problems. And I have to say that Professor Nisha Taneja is the leader of this program at ICRIER, and she is not just a leader who started working on it today. She has been working on South Asian economic cooperation and economic integration for the past 20 years, and her contribution is well recognized, across the region. And I'm really very happy that she has given me this opportunity to chair this lecture. And for our lecture, we have a very special guest with us here who really needs no introduction to Indian audiences. Dr. Ishrat Hussain has not only held very important positions as former governor of the Central Bank of Pakistan and very senior positions in international organizations like the World Bank. He's also been advisor to the Prime Minister of Pakistan, President of Pakistan. So I think, you already have his short CV circulated, and I will not stand between his lecture and you to either talk about all his distinctions, which are well known, or to even lay down, my stray thoughts on this very, very important subject. And these are very trying times. In fact, we go through this cycle every now and then when we see that we are heading somewhere in making progress. Something or the other, some setback comes, and then we again start to build. So today's everyone coming together to listen to Dr. Ishrat Hussain is an occasion when we are again putting our minds together to see how we can push the dialogue and the relationship forward. I would first like to request High Commissioner Salman Bashir to make a few remarks. Thank you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Chairperson ICRIER, Dr. Ahluwalia, Dr. Ishrat Hussain, the special distinguished guest from Pakistan, the director, Rajat Kathuria Sahib, Dr. Bhalla, and my friend, Mr. Manjul. It is indeed a great pleasure and honor for me to be invited to say a few words at this important event. I believe this is the first of the distinguished lecture series, and I assure you, everybody, that no better person could have been selected by the ICRIER than Dr. Ishrat Hussain to speak on trade normalization between Pakistan and India. I don't think I am qualified to go into the substance of it, but it is, I think, important for me to lay out some broad perspectives from the Pakistani point of view. First of all, I think what we should be saying and what we should be accepting and taking as given is Pakistan's firm determination to improve its relations with all its neighbors, in particular with India. I think I can say that on the basis of my own experience, that both governments at the highest levels have invested a lot of effort and energy to making this happen. Having said that, of course, we have an ongoing dialogue process which has several tracks. In fact, two tracks that have witnessed encouraging progress, I would say, are one, the people-to-people or the visa liberalization, that track, and that encompasses also high-level exchanges, especially parliamentary exchanges between the two countries. And the second track, of course, is economic and trade cooperation, which has witnessed several important ministerial and secretary level meetings. There have been a host of technical meetings of all types, railway to railway, custom to custom. So a lot of good hard work has been put together to see how we can move towards full trade normalization between Pakistan and India. Now, of course, all of these tracks need to work together, and we need to have a holistic view of the relationship. And I think it is very important that, and I'm sure that both the leaderships in Pakistan and India have a clear vision on where they want to see the relationship grow and develop. That is one of good neighborly, friendly cooperation, which is mutually beneficial which is in the interest of our two countries and peoples. Of course, Dr. Ahluwalia referred to the broader picture of South Asia. And I think there also we believe that significant improvement and building of relations between Pakistan and India would definitely contribute to the goals of peace, amity, and cooperation in the whole of South Asia, and will be the forerunners of the people of this region fully and optimally utilizing their tremendous potentials. Now, what is really required? I think the first thing is the vision, and I said that I believe at the South Asian level that vision is there, as epitomized in several SAARC declarations. Between Pakistan and India, of course, there have been good summit level meetings, and I think both the leadership in both countries is committed to making this happen. Two, of course, is the requisite political will. How much would the governments and democratic governments be prepared to invest to move whatever is required to realize that vision? And the third thing, which is very important, is the capacity of not only what was referred here is the abundant research that has been done by ICRIER in South Asia, but the capacity also of governments at all tiers to sort of be in sync and work that vision. So we have to be sure-footed. We have to be very clear how to proceed. I think on the context of Pakistan-India trade normalization, a decision in principle exists at the right political levels. Two, I think what needs to be done more is at the technical levels. And by technical levels, I mean at all tiers of the government and of the businesses of the two countries and whatever else. And that requires careful delineation of pathways, of how we are going to proceed. And to ensure that whatever is done with due sensitivity and care, so that nothing comes in the way. And this requires, I believe, start working in a really honest, sincere way in changing the atmospherics, in changing the narratives, about each other. I think a holistic approach of this nature would be most valuable. Of course, this is a very important subject, and of course, Dr. Ishrat Hussain is most qualified to deal with it at some length. I would like to only thank ICRIER for its initiative, and I'm sure that this will be an interesting afternoon hearing Dr. Ishrat Hussain. And of course, this is quite, for all of us, in a way, most inspiring. With these words, I wish to thank you once again.
May I now invite Dr. Ishrat Hussain to deliver the lecture, please.
Thank you. Dr. Ishar Ahluwalia, Mr. High Commissioner Salman Bashir Saab, my friend Mr. Munjal, my friend Surjit Bhalla, and Dr. Katoria, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'm very grateful to ICRIER for inviting me to deliver this lecture. I have been a student of Indian economy since 1980. I've been coming to India very frequently and keeping in touch. So it is for me a great deal of honor and privilege to be talking about this topic on which I have been working now for almost 10 years, both when I was in the government and outside the government. My first paper comparing India and Pakistan was published in 1994, and Pakistan was way ahead on all indicators at that time. My second paper was published in 2008, and India is way ahead of Pakistan in almost all indicators. And that started me thinking as to why, being so much in a geostrategic location, China as one of our northern neighbor and India, the other neighbor, we should not take advantage of this very strategic position to improve and invest in the standards of living of Pakistan. Because Pakistan, whatever you may say, is only 180 million people and doesn't have the same kind of clout as China or India have. And therefore, this has been something which we have been working very hard. So for me, ICRIER is the natural bridge between those of us who are working on this topic in Pakistan and in India. And I hope that this example of ICRIER will be followed by others. India and Pakistan have enjoyed very little trading relations for the past 4 decades, and that's known to everyone. And this has had very deleterious effect, not only on the bilateral trade, but also on the intra-regional trade flows in the South Asia. And the region, therefore, remains the least integrated region of the world. Even sub-Saharan Africa is more integrated despite all the difficulties of infrastructure and geographical conditions. And the foregone benefits to the people of South Asian countries, therefore, are substantial. You also know that there is a strong correlation between trade, economic growth, and poverty reduction. And there is empirical evidence to this. We have gone very far from the export pessimism literature of the 50s and the 60s. And even a country like China, which has a large internal market of 1.2 billion, has relied upon exports as the engine of growth. They could have just relied on the internal trade, but they couldn't have reached the kind of standards of living they have if they were not integrated with the rest of the world. Now, to me, it was a conundrum that South Asia was a natural, large, unified market for goods and services until the independence, where there was infrastructure which ran from Calcutta all the way to Peshawar, the roads, railways, the ports. That was the kind of transaction which were taking place within the United India. We inherited the common legal, constitutional, and administrative systems. Even the languages in parts of Pakistan are the same as in India. We watch the same movies, listen to the same music. So these are the ingredients which will take you to surmise that there must be an integration of economic forces between the two countries. On the other hand, East Asia, which I happen to work as a chief economist for the World Bank, had, to me, very diverse backgrounds, very little in common historically, but it has become the second largest integrated region after the European Union. So here it's a natural union which is disintegrating and which is not working, and here is a union which has really come together. And this is a conundrum which I feel requires to be highlighted in South Asia. Of course, among the academic economists, both in India and Pakistan, there was a consensus that India and Pakistan's normalization of trade would bring substantial benefits, not only to India and Pakistan, but to both of them. But the trade still did not take off. And research has shown that it was the political tension and rivalry between the two countries which was the main explanatory variable. But fortunately, in the last 1 year or so, there have been some healthy developments in resuming better trading relations. Academic consensus has now spilled over to the business community on both sides, and a majority of the businessmen on both India and Pakistan appear convinced that liberalization of bilateral trade would be in their mutual interest. Finally, the policymakers, including the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Manmohan Singh, and the President of Pakistan, Mr. Asif Ali Zardari, have overcome their own political difficulties, and a momentum has been built for the last 1 year to move the process forward. And the breakthrough came in form of Pakistan's granting most favored nation, which should have been done long time ago, and moving away from a highly restrictive positive list to a negative list. And the negative list was to be phased out by December 2012, and that cabinet decision still holds. But there has been some unexpected delay due to the concerns expressed by some agriculturalist lobby in Pakistan, who wrongly, in my view, and I have argued this and I have written on this, feel that the subsidized Indian agriculture will completely demolish them. There is no evidence to that effect. But despite that, there are 8,000 items. Only 15%, or 1,209, have been put on the negative list. The remaining 6,800 can now be freely imported from India, which is almost 85%, compared to only 25% under the positive list. It's too early to gauge the actual impact of the measures, but I am very optimistic that the volume of the trade will certainly jump up. The preliminary data for Pakistan shows that there has been a 66% increase during the last 6 months, mainly because of the sugar which has come into India. And this is very natural, that if India falls short of certain crops for sake of price stability and consumer welfare, you import it from across the border. And if Pakistan has the same shortages because you have the same tastes and preferences and the same cropping patterns, you import things from Pakistan. So the consumers will be better off, and the price stability, which is one of the objectives of the policymakers, would prevail. And the producers will not be hurt at all, because the producers are not involved in this, because there is a shortage of that particular crop. So